Hello, dear viewers. You're here with us in another program of Kabbalist Right. Hello, Dr. Leitman. Hello, everyone. About 12 years ago, here, maybe even before the channel started, the topic of mutual guarantee, you start to teach it. Also, a special book was published at the time, which influenced the students very much. And then also a movement, the movement arvut, was started, which engages with the camaraderie in Israel. So this is a very deep concept in the wisdom of Kabbalah, and whenever we talk about it, it always is depicted as something beautiful, good, awakening agreement. What is the root of this word which projects such positivity? Arvut, mutual guarantee, is each needs to be responsible, just as Bala Salam explains in that article of Arvut. We need to be a guarantor to all those friends which together make up in their common desire with the common inclination for connection in order to discover within the right connection that form of one which is called the Creator. As specifically the connection between everyone brings on its own the form of the Creator. Because the created being is not capable of feeling the quality of bestowal other than when he builds that quality within himself, within his vessels, his kilim. Each of us is not capable of doing this on his own because it's not possible. Bestowal is a passing or a giving from one to another, an inclination from one to another, a good tendency from one to another, of a good influence, a good bestowal. And that's why it is written in a way that the majority, the smallest majority, is two. When we talk about a state which many people unite around, many men to one group, and decide between them to go in a special way, a special path, meaning the path is such that they will make sure that each time between them, the relationship between them will be more equal, closer from time to time. It will answer all the conditions which were written for us by the Kabbalists, and by these actions that we will do in order to attain the proper connection, we invite the reforming light. We don't get to it on our own, to this connection. But when we invite this reforming light, it comes and actually builds between us such a connection that is called the Creator. That's how we come to understand and feel the form of the Creator, which is clothing us, the created being. This is considered revelation. The form of bestowal itself we cannot attain, the quality of bestowal, but rather we attain it in matter, in our structure which we built. That's why specifically here we can understand the reason of the shattering, the reason of the preparation, the reason for the evil inclination, as because we have, thanks to us having in us the evil inclination, and we connect above it, despite the fact that it wants to separate between us seemingly, because it's the Creator that's doing these things. He is called the posterior of Pharaoh, or Pharaoh is considered the posterior of the Creator, and that's how they play with us. So if we come to a state in which, from the shattering which we were born into, and we exist in the ego, in this evil inclination, if we build from there the good inclination which connects between us, then in such a manner we discover the form of the Creator between us. And we can't reveal it in any other way. That's why the mutual guarantee is a necessary condition for connection, as we need to connect in such a manner called arvut, mutual guarantee, which means that we're included in each other, in each other, in each other, in each other, until we are completely in each other. And then it's called that the Creator is clothing the creature, meaning the power of bestowal is clothed in us. We make the Creator, because without us he doesn't exist. There is no Creator without a creature, meaning we need to construct this form between us. There is the force of bestowal, but we can't feel it. Rather, only if we build for it a special quality, this special quality in the connection between us. Out of these things that you're saying is the topic of arvut, which on one hand is depicted as a social matter, but it's actually a Kabbalistic matter that engages with the upper force. And what is Kabbalah engaged in, if not on connection, until the degree in which the society becomes as one? The whole of the wisdom of Kabbalah teaches us how we need to unite, how we need to connect, and what forms of connection we discover, all kinds of forms of the Creator, which are called Nagan Chai, within the connection between us. And then, according to the degrees of the coarseness of the bad, which we rise above and connect in Shoresh, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, and Dalet, accordingly we discover that state between us, which is called the world. Where on one hand the world is considered the word he'elim, the concealment, so we discover the forms of concealment. On the other hand, we discover later forms of revelation, from concealment and revelation, thus we ascend in the degrees of the worlds. Throughout these years, if you look, what do you think is the common misunderstanding in the concept of arvut, which is being disclosed? Look, in all our concepts, all our definitions in the wisdom of Kabbalah, no, all our definitions are earthly definitions of human beings. They're all opposite of the wisdom of Kabbalah, because they're all built upon the basis of self-love, the ego, the will to receive for oneself. And therefore, love, help, bestowal, these are all just words without the true content within them. Because what love is there and what bestowal is there between one and another, if we're all from the matter of the will to receive itself? Then, of course, in that we're only thinking of how we can enjoy the other, taking advantage of the other. Whereas, if we connect between us, or try to connect between us, to the concept which is called arvut truly, and invite the reforming light, which we understand we can't reach. This is a very critical point that you're saying, that we're understanding that we're not capable. Yes, this only through the study of the wisdom of Kabbalah, in keeping all the conditions that Kabbalists tell us, we come seemingly to a dead end. We can see that we are not capable of connecting. By the way, humanity today is discovering this even without the study of the wisdom of Kabbalah, meaning that it's discovering that it's not capable of being in the right connection, that it's not capable of being in love, in mutuality. We've been admitting, everyone's been admitting that this is the case already. At one point we still thought there were novels being written about love. Today we already understand that that's all truly in a limited format. But when we deal with connection, and with that we study the wisdom of Kabbalah, and from the wisdom of Kabbalah we once again engage in connection and constantly correct it, upgrade it, update it, then we reach an inner crisis where, other than the reforming light, I'm not capable of continuing onwards in this. And then we do invite the reforming light, meaning a special force where if we do specific actions, it operates on us and then it connects between us and brings us the knowledge of how we need to connect properly in order to reach the essence of the Creator. The reforming light comes as a certain force, a special force from the Creator Himself, and arranges us like a kindergarten teacher. It arranges the relationships between the children, how this one needs to relate to this one, and now that one has to relate to this one, and how we need to be all or in an orderly manner so that this light will operate there. And then when we start with its assistance to connect, we start to feel that yes, we are getting closer to some other dimension of life, because we're already starting to feel the reality not from me feeling it, but rather we feel. I start to exit that personal, individualistic feeling, and I'm included in some general feeling, something outside of me, outside my body. And this is how I reach the revelation of the upper world, because the upper world is what is sensed in the summary of the labor, of the efforts of the society. And this summary can be each time greater and greater depending upon which ego we are reaching that summary, or despite it reaching that summary between us. And then we discover the world of Asiya, or Yetzirah, or Biriya, and so on, with ascents and descents like we learn, but all of that already in the relationships between us. So, really, why does the word arvut have some kind of charm to it, as if it broadcasts, which is like something attainable, meaning it focuses a person on what does he really have to engage in? Is there something special about it? In our world, arvut is something that is completely not similar to the spiritual concept of it. Because in our world, arvut is considered that I am a guarantor, I'm responsible instead of someone else, and then I can like put my signature, and then the country, the state, the police, the pressure, the prisons, the rules. It's not pleasant. No, the judicial system. It all stands behind that signature of mine, as so that I will keep it. It's not the same arvut that we're talking about in spirituality. That's why we definitely need to understand that here, each time I decide to be a guarantor, even though it's above my reason, above feeling and understanding, and I go and nevertheless carry out this arvut because I understand that this is the spiritual kli, and that above, in faith above reason, I reach a certain special bestowal through the friends to the Creator. In arvut, in values that are similar, love of others and love thy friend as thyself, there's a connection between students, between people that work together. Yes? What is that obligation that of connecting between people, specifically work with each other, respect each other, see in each other, make the importance of each another, see how you're great and special. That closeness of hearts that needs to be here between people who engage in arvut. What stands behind that direction? That they need to develop kind of impersonal relationships between them, because we don't know what it means to be connected according to the force of bestowal. That's not clear to us, not in a direct manner or in an opposite manner, not at all. It is all of a sudden revealed in such a form of connection that is very strange, very weird. And there's just none. It's truly there's no possibility of getting to know it if we don't get direction and yes, direction from above. Why is there some obligation for personal connection between people, between the students, or is there no personal connection between the students and arvut? Yes, but what is this personal connection? That each and every one of the students understands and knows that he must lower himself before the others, meaning towards the other friends, to connect to them, to support them, as each of them must bring his part, and to push the others towards that center of connection between them. So really, what's standing behind that work between people on a personal level as they work? Support of all sorts and types. As I am lowering myself and showing them that I'm doing this, and to give an example, the right example, so they will do that too. The attitude towards them, which is open. But all of this has to be clear that I'm doing this only in order to reach the revelation of the Creator, and that this is our goal. Otherwise, it's a seating of fools instead of the assembly of Kabbalists. In the beginning of the Arvut article of Balasulam, he talks about the fact that a person actually needs to fill himself with the promises of others so that he'll be able to free himself and engage in the care for others. Meaning there has to be a certain arvut there. Without me bestowing to them, to the environment, and in influencing me, we won't be able to, not me and not them, to get closer to arvut, to mutual guarantee. There must be here me and the environment and the upper force together. Otherwise, I can come with them to connection, which is completely not arvut, which we're talking about. But rather it'll be like the seating of fools, or some gang, or some sport team, which may also engage in study, but that connection does not happen there. No, this really has to be a special approach where, first of all, the Creator is the attainment of the general force of bestowal, which is outside of us, for all of us. And only in the connection between us is revealed that the attainment of such connection is our common goal. What approach of supplying of the ego, so of the personal needs, does a person need to adopt in order to be able to engage in love of others? Again, what approach of supplying the ego all of the personal needs so he won't lack anything does he need to adapt in order to be able to engage in love of others? Again, meaning this is from the book. This is from the book. Well, no, because there are probably certain introductions that are missing here. Why don't you read it again? Okay, I'll read again and I'll continue this. What approach of supplying the ego, satisfying the personal needs, so that he won't miss anything? Does a person need to adapt in order to be able to do that? Well, in the book it's written in a different way. You kind of spin it to a question, and that's why it sounds like that. Meaning, what do I need to supply myself with so that I'll have the force to get closer to arvut? Here is the problem. This is the work of the environment on a person, as the environment must bring a person the environment has to bring a person the value of connection, the value of the revelation of the Creator, the value of the importance of the upper force, that there's nothing higher than that, so that I will see my work as the most exalted of works, and that there's nothing that can be even for this or next to this, but rather only this, and that's it. That's the influence of the environment upon a person. That's how it needs to be. As in this great inclination towards the revelation of the Creator, he will truly be able to devote himself towards arvut as a vessel for revelation of the Creator. He has to feel upper perfection in that. Truly, as there's nothing above that. Yes. In this work with the environment, does there need to be a true human obligation of people towards people? No. Eventually, arvut is that upper light which is bestowing upon us according to our labors. It is what arranges between us this attitude, this relationship towards the Creator, or as the Creator is the back of our neck, and not we ourselves. How can we promise each other or to others that He's willing to work? You're going to go ahead, and I will support you, and what? As each of us understands that he doesn't have anything. But the influence of the environment needs to bring me just a lack for this. But the actual execution of it is only from the reforming light. As every good thing that I'm somehow capable of doing is only by drawing the light and for it to do it. So what is the meaning of the exercises that you give to the students? Summarize between you, or sometimes they also read in the text that they'll obligated, they committed together, they agreed that each will care for the other. Okay, but this is of course under the condition, of course it's in the desert, in the search of how we reveal the Creator, meaning it's already as a result of the action of the light. Yes, of course, because it's after the obligation that if we connect, we receive the light. Arvut is the condition for reception of the Torah. The Torah is that reforming light, that surrounding light. And that's why when we seemingly are willing to connect, then we invite the reforming light. And then it gives us a certain connection between us, and we discover a certain initial click between us, and immediately the evil inclination, the higher evil inclination is revealed, and then we discover that we're opposite arvut, and then we try to do again something, and there's a problem, and we try to unite somehow in some way, and we can't. We start to cry out and pray the prayer of many, and then again the upper light influences us, helps us connect, and this is how we advance. Meaning in the 40 years of the desert, each time we fail seemingly, but it's because the greater evil inclination rises, which was concealed previously in us, and now each time we need to decide an even greater degree of arvut, meaning each time I'm seemingly signing in this agreement of arvut that I'm going to go and connect with others in a different state. Because the evil inclination which is being revealed each time in the 40 years, that's how it's called. From Malchut to Binah is 40 degrees. So each time I discover the condition of arvut even more and more, until upon my whole kli, I acquire that quality, and I can say that, yes, all my desires of reception, which are egotistical, will connect now to the degree of Binah. Binah connects between them. And Binah is the quality of the Creator. It's God. God in Gematria is nature, which is the quality of bestowal. So human beings again and again fail between them because they're not working with these forces. No, they're not failing. That's how it's called. And it really seems from the Torah that they're falling again and falling again. But it's because a greater and greater evil is being revealed in them until all the evil is revealed. So it's an obligation for them on them to fall. They have no choice because they're not capable of withstanding the new, more powerful evil which is being revealed every single moment. And that's why imagine to yourself that for every step along the way, we need to define and decide on arvut, which is even greater. We have nothing else to be concerned about than the arvut. If we are drawn upon all the evil that is being revealed towards arvut, we draw the reforming light. It defines between us a connection which is called arvut. In it, the Creator is revealed, and the moment He is revealed, immediately a corruption begins to occur. Once again, corrupted desires are floating upwards, and we're once again in that revelation of evil. And once again, we need to try to once again remember, first of all, that we have to get to our voot, and we have to, meaning that evil which is being revealed takes us out of our mind completely, and that's how it's every step along the way. So I'm thinking, and our voot is actually everything. It's our goal in practice, in which the Creator is being revealed. And despite the fact that the Torah is written in such a language, people don't engage with themselves at all. They're actually dealing with some, I don't know, global, universal, the ego values, kind of folk concepts. No, in this, a person learns himself and sees that this is what we need to execute. This is us. It's not something that's outside of me. I engage only in my inner nature. Towards the end, I'm going to read a quote that talks about the whys of truth from a letter of Balasulam. This is what he says. These wicked have 7 lusts. That's why he divided their hearts, and the Creator made their language so one will not hear the language of the other. But the sages, where the lie did not come to their mouth, because of that, all they say is truth, and every awakening they have is for the truth. And through them, therefore all the sages are as one man, each understanding the language of the other. Their mouths are as one mouth, and therefore there is a force between them to reveal the secrets from one to another, mouth to mouth. This, with the help of the Creator and the arvut, we will reach that too. Thank you very much, Rav Michael Leitman. Thank you very much to our viewers, and we'll meet you on our next program. Thank you, and so long.